Well, we talked about the neoclassical age and the age of reason. You might be knowing that neoclassicism and age of reason are the same movements in literature. Now we shall go ahead with the romantics. You might be knowing that romanticism was a kind of a reaction against neoclassicism. And the main critics of, again, I would like to remind you people that basically they were poets, okay, whom we are calling, critics. They talked about literature, that is criticism, but they wrote literature as well. So William Wordsworth, was one of the important romantic critics and poet. You might be knowing that he published lyrical ballads in the year 1798, and that year is considered as the official beginning of the romanticism in Britain, in British literature. He published this with his friend S.T. Coleridge. And in the second edition, he came up with the preface to the lyrical ballads. And this preface is a kind of literary work. Means when we talk about William Wordsworth and his criticism, we refer to preface to lyrical ballads, which was published in the year 1798. In this preface means a kind of introduction. Now, you should underline this pronunciation as well. It's not preface, it's preface. Okay? Means being the students of English language and literature, you must be familiar with proper and correct pronunciation. So never read this word as preface. It is preface, means an introduction. And in this introductory part of lyrical ballads is a collection of poetry. And Wordsworth has written this preface to this collection of poetry. This collection of poetry consists of poems by William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge. Both of them were the first generation romantic poets and very good friends. In this preface, William Wordsworth explains the new vision of poetry, which he shared with Coleridge. And through this explanation of his new vision, which was a kind of reaction against neoclassicism of Alexander Pope and Dryden, he gives us glimpse of the beginning of a radical change in literary history. I told you, Romanticism was a reaction against neoclassicism. So neoclassicism believed that the truth was already discovered by the ancients, Homer, Aristotle, Horace, etc. But Wordsworth came up with the radical ideas because the school of Romanticism was inspired and influenced by the French Revolution. And you can see the radical change in their thinking, in their perception of literature and literary theory. So, preface to lyrical ballads is a kind of beginning of the radical change in this history, in this literary theory. When we understand this literary criticism, this literary theory, the main concept in this theory is common life, common man. The subject matter for Wordsworth's poetry, Coleridge's poetry is driven from common life, from the rural folks, from nature. Wordsworth believed that the proper language of poetry is as it is really used by people. The proper language of poetry should not be the what you call classical language as such, as the neoclassicist believed. The neoclassicist insisted on the appropriate words and all. Diction, they use the term diction. But according to Wordsworth, which is against this view, no, against the neoclassical view, the language, proper language of poetry is the language of common people. And the manner is the natural state of excitement. How should poetry be written? In the natural state of excitement. It was Wordsworth who defined poetry as the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility. So poetry is something, you know, the overflow of powerful feelings. So for romanticists, feelings were important, emotions were important. For the naturally neoclassicist, reason, thoughts were important. They gave priority to thoughts, logic over emotions, whereas romanticists gave priority to emotions first. Means they thought that emotions are important, feelings are important. Okay, the poets no longer need to follow a prescribed set of rules. You understood it now. In the just try to compare it with Alexander Pope's view. Pope thought that poets should follow the rules, poetic rules, but he, Wordsworth, and S.T. Coleridge were of the opinion that poets should not follow any rules because the aim of poetry is to freely express one's own individualism. So their poetry was more subjective, more emotional, and individualistic. They talked about their personal lives, whereas in neoclassical poetry, there was no scope for individuality. They talked about the society. Okay, so this criticism by William Wordsworth believed that readers are not to decide in accordance with their own feeling. Sorry, readers are to decide. No, I'm sorry for the use of not. Readers are to decide in accordance with their own feelings. They should not have the base of judgment upon that of others. Means what? Individuality. Whatever you feel, that is important. So this criticism believed in individual freedom because it was highly inspired by the French Revolution of 1789. You might be knowing that it was the French Revolution which gave the world the ideas, the thoughts of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Swatantra, Samata, and Bandhuta. Same here. These people, romanticists, believed in individualism, in freedom, in liberty, in equality, and in fraternity. And their main areas of interest and criticism, the elements and subject matter of literature. So they talked about the elements of literature and subject matter of literature. Now, when we talk about his influence on literary criticism, today, we talk about imagination. I had mentioned earlier that imagination is valued over reason. In neoclassical school, reason was important. It was the age of reason. Reasoning means you might be knowing. You think very scientifically, logically. That was important. Why was important? But here, imagination is important. They gave priority to imagination over reason while writing poetry. And this resulted in new definition of poetry. I just now mentioned. Wordsworth defined poetry as a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. And even it gave new judging criteria on behalf of the reader. Means earlier there were the mimetic and rhetorical theories. Uh, no, you might be knowing imitation and rhetoric was important. The use of language, the choice of words was important. This gave way to expressive theories. Romantic literary criticism is a kind of expressive theory. It highlighted on the individuality of the artist, and readers were at a privileged position. They were given importance in the appreciation of literature. They thought that readers are important in the appreciation of literature. It should be the language of common people. So I have already given you the definition of poetry. That is the catchphrase of the school, or especially Wordsworth's literary criticism. What Wordsworth says, all good poetry, the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. And poetry takes its origin from emotions recollected in tranquility. Okay? It is spontaneous. As soon as you see something, your emotions, overflow, your feelings overflow. And these emotions are recollected, means remembered, when you are alone. And then a poetry is written, a poem is written, poetry is written. This is what Wordsworth thought.